Good morning, dreamers. As you can probably hear in my voice, I think I'm getting sick, or there's like crazy allergies or something happening here. So, y'all can pray for me for that. I'm just at work today and tomorrow, at work as in my day job. So, I at least need to feel good for those 2 days, and then I do have appointments this week, but just that I would on Thursday and Friday when I'm home, but just that I would feel better. I think there's just a lot going on. It's one of those seasons, which is why it's so appropriate that our prayer today was about seasons, because I feel like that's really been affecting me in a unique way. I'm just in a slightly stressful season, just with finishing work well and launching into my businesses full time, and also like literally in the midst of a relaunch of one of my products for my other business. So just really feeling, I think I'm just feeling the effects of that. I didn't take care of myself much this weekend, not a lot of relaxation or anything. So I think it's just everything coming together, in addition to like weather changes here. So that's why I really appreciated today's prayer on seasons. I feel like it's very much needed for me right now. I don't have a lot of reflection. I don't think. We'll see how long I talk. I don't think I'll be talking very long. But I do have some, because I feel like it's really I want to keep doing this for you guys, but also just that, like I said, this is very much something that's close to me. I feel like we don't feel like there's seasons, or we don't really call them seasons unless it is stressful. You know what I mean? Like, we don't talk about our seasons of peace. We talk about our seasons of, heartache, or our seasons of tough stuff, challenges, and busyness, and all of those things. Like, we just don't. I think it's interesting when I was thinking, like, I don't know that I think about seasons in a good sense most of the time. Like, when I think about seasons, I think about it in the context of a challenging time. Hi, Amy. And so it's really interesting then to reflect on that and say, oh, well, I need to also remember to be thankful and joyful in good seasons and turn that to God, and realize also that I need God in those seasons. I think sometimes it's harder to keep that in our heads, that we need God in our good seasons, because it feels like everything's just going without Him, specifically intervening in different ways. And so, yeah, I just thought that was one thing, because one thing that stood out to me in the prayer, and one thing that I've been hearing over and over lately, or the songs and stuff like that, has been, I need you. Like, we've sung it at church like every week. I keep hearing that song when I play worship music. So just every hour, I need you. I can't do anything without you. Like, all of those, like, I need you kind of phrases and songs. And so it's just really interesting that the Lord keeps reminding me how much I need Him. And even just in this experience, like, that I need Him in order to do anything. Because even my gifts, the stuff that I use, like, to do the work I do and be self-sufficient, came from Him. So it's not like, it's just one of those things where we feel like we can do it alone, but even in those times that we're doing it alone, we're doing it alone with the stuff that He has graciously given to us. So even in that, we have never done it alone, which I find really interesting to think about, because it's just like a total paradigm shift for us, I feel like. Anyway, so my favorite parts of the prayer today in the book, one was in that first paragraph. The one that they pulled out on the title page for this one was, I pray that you would prepare my heart, mind, and my spirit for the unknown seasons ahead. I felt like that was just, I just kind of needed that, like, just prepare me, because I just don't know. But then I underlined like a big paragraph. So It says, I want to praise you with reckless abandon, regardless of my circumstances. Whether I'm in the valley or on the mountaintop, I pray you would pursue my heart and wrap your loving arms around me. I need you. Give me a positive perspective and a renewed mindset in each new season so that I may fully live out the mission you have called me to without distraction from the enemy. Encourage me to keep my eyes fixed on you. I pray you would continually find me faithful to your kingdom and to your people. You are sovereign and good. In you, I am enough and can face the seasons ahead. So I love that like I want to praise you with reckless abandon, no matter if I'm on a high or a low. I feel like that's really much where I want my heart to be in this particular season too. So pray that he would pursue my heart. I need you. That each season my mind would be renewed to face those challenges. Hi, Kirsty. Without distraction from the enemy. Keep my eyes fixed on you. Yeah, so in you I am enough and can face the seasons ahead. And I think that's really important because I think one thing that we struggle with as a woman is feeling like we are enough. And maybe that's kind of a general, maybe men feel that way too. I at least see it more in women because we're held to all of these different standards. We have a lot of standards that we're held to, that we're working in, that we're dealing with in business, in life, in, being the perfect mom, being the perfect wife, having everything together, also working or doing your business and being successful in that. Like, we're held to these standards that are really, really challenging. Like, and to be like the best Christian and to have great friends. And I mean, that's a lot of pressure for us, and I think, it's easy to feel like we are not enough. And the truth is that we won't be, but we are with Jesus. We are with God. And so we're enough for whatever we can handle, like he's with us. So I think that's the perspective we need to bring into everything. And one reason why I like doing what I do, like with Christian women in this business coaching, is because I get to bring God into that equation. Like, a lot of people try to remove that and think of it separately. And even I have a tendency to compartmentalize, but when you get into it, you see that God is in each of those things. So even when you're doing everything right, if you don't bring God into it, it could be the wrong thing. Or, you could be doing everything wrong, and if God's in it, it could be great. You just don't know. And I think that's what's great about God, is that you can always count on him to be there with you and to equip you for what he's called you to. There's this quote, and I don't know who says it, but it says, like, God rarely calls the equips, but he always equips the called. And I think that's what we need to remember. Like, he will rarely, just like when you're perfectly ready, you finally learned all those skills, then he's going to give you that challenge. No, he gives you that challenge so that you can learn those things, so that you can lean on him and get through those seasons. And so I think that's just important for us to remember, that he is in it, he will equip you, he is with you, and that's enough for you. So my favorite verse from this is from Hebrews. Let us keep our eyes fixed on Jesus, on whom our faith depends from beginning to end. And I remember thinking, when I first read this, like, this was a major aha moment for me. When I first read through this book and had the eyes fixed on Jesus part, and I realized all this time I've been trying to have more faith, but it turns out that my faith doesn't actually depend on me. Isn't that like you're supposed to just have faith, be more faithful, have more faith, and have big faith, but really, that's not my responsibility. Yeah, Amy, it's good. It's not my responsibility to have more faith. It's my responsibility to look at Jesus, and Jesus gives me faith. Looking at Jesus, the faith comes too. So sometimes I feel like having more faith is like a work thing, right? Like, you can do stuff to have more faith, and that feels awesome. but that's not really how it works. Like, you just have to be. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm really bad at being. That's just not something I'm great at. And so this is why this is challenging, but it's also why it's great, because it takes the pressure off of me to have more faith, and it reminds me to just be, and to look at Jesus and to sit at his feet and know that the doing comes with that. Like, the faith comes with that. And so by looking at Jesus, I have more faith. So yeah, that's really my encouragement for you guys today. So one, shift your paradigm for seasons, right? Like, seasons are good and bad, so include God in all of that. Remember, you need him in all of that, and that he will equip you for all those challenges. And two, stop worrying about how much faith you have and look at Jesus, because when you do that, the faith comes too. So in whatever season, in the mountaintop or the valley, or if you're like me and you're just kind of like, you're going up or down the mountain, you're just not sure which way yet, like, God is in that and he'll equip you for that. So that's all I have for you guys today. I will actually be back later because we're talking about stories, and I'm going to share part of my story that some of you may not know. Some of you might, because it is about my first business, so we'll talk a little bit about that, and then there's just a lot of newbies here, so you guys will learn a little bit more about me, and I'll have something special too. So keep your eyes open. We'll be in touch then, and I hope you guys have a great day.